Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. Welcome. It's great to see everybody today. We are happy to be here. And I'd just like to say that we had a great time at the Shaw Festival here recently. We went over to Niagara-on-the-Lake and we saw My Fair Lady, and Mary is donning her chapeau that she bought and Niagara-on-the-Lake. We had a very nice lunch. There's some pictures on social media, certainly. So definitely a good positive experience and good community. Our group does a lot of different things for sure, in socially and also learning to improve public speaking. And I think we might have a guest today as well, but we'll introduce her in a little bit. We'll see if she came on her own, or we'll find. We'll repeat that in a little bit. If everybody would like to rise, we'll do the pledge to the flag, and I'll do a little inspiration. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please fix that, Beth. So the theme today is music, and music is inspiring. So I think there's a lot of different things with music. We're going to talk about, it's such a broad topic. We could talk about all kinds of things with music. So there's classical music, some relaxation. Yes, we're gonna do that in a second. I was kind of getting through the inspiration part, so thank you. So we'll talk a little bit about music in a second. We do have a special guest today. We have the mayor of Lockport, so we'd like to bring him up, and we'd like to bring up any officers we have in the house as well in a little bit for a picture. So I guess you can come up now. It's fine. And he's going to give us a proclamation. So if he'd like to step up to the mic here.
Good morning, everyone. You guys really meet at 7 a.m.? Yeah, that's what I heard when I walked through the door. It's 6:55, I think it was. We do have a proclamation I'd like to read, if I could, please. Thank you. Yes, thank you. I'm short. Thank you. Yes. Whereas Toastmasters International is the largest educational club in the world, and AM Lockport Toastmasters was chartered in April 1984. And whereas Toastmasters International is the leading movement devoted to making effective oral communication a worldwide reality, Toastmasters' focus is on public speaking and listening. And whereas Lockport Toastmasters has continued to grow their membership over the past 40 years and are always open to new members. And whereas AM Lockport Toastmasters is a community-based club rather than a corporate club and welcomes members from all lifestyles and all professions, the club is very proud to be part of leading the fight for inclusion of women led by Toastmasters International. And whereas AM Lockport Toastmasters is celebrating their 40th anniversary and prides themselves on being a contributing organization here in Lockport. And now therefore be it resolved that I, John Lombardi III, Mayor of the City of Lockport, urge all citizens to join me in this special toast to AM Lockport Toastmasters, AM Lockport Toastmasters 40th year anniversary. Congratulations. Thank you.
Take that, and we'll get a picture here. I'll kind of, maybe we can get the other officers in here. Just a little bit. There you go. Yeah, we are. Right.
And I have one more citation I'd like to present. Mr. Licata, would you like to step forward? Certificate of Achievement, proudly presented to David Licata. This is to certify that David Licata has demonstrated an outstanding job over the past 40 years and is being honored as Toastmaster General.
Thanks, Chad. Thanks, man. Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute. wine. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. Thanks for coming by.
My pleasure.
I'll let you know if you want to.
Yeah, let me know if I win the split club, would you? Thank you, everybody. Have a great day and congratulations.
Well, wasn't that exciting? I don't think we've ever had the mayor here before. I could be wrong, but
We had county legislature 5 years ago. To my knowledge, I don't believe we ever had the mayor.
never had the mayor. So we're honored to have his presence today. And thank you, Dave Licata, for arranging that. I believe you're the one that did that. Yeah, we did have a county legislator, is what Dave said, if you didn't hear it online. Okay, before we get going a little further, do we have any announcements from the group? We do like to gather some announcements if possible. Okay, no announcements. I would like to hear about our guests. What is your name? You could stand up and just tell us who you are a little bit, and I'll repeat it so they can hear on here on this. Lily Beth. All right, new member, Lily Beth. All right, so she's not even a guest. Better than that. Love it. So like I said, today's theme is music. Music fills the air with romance sometimes. We got jazz, classical, rock and roll, country. I know some of us like country. So all these genres, it's not all inclusive. Certainly we have many more genres, but it just keeps us excited, keeps us motivated, relaxes us. It's kind of a funny thing, music. It's where it came from back in the day. I do wonder that. I know we actually have a DJ in the house as well, Larry McKenzie. He has done that many times in the real world out there, making some money. So we're going to talk a little bit about music today, and talk about your favorite band. You could talk about your favorite genre when you are introducing your roles. We're going to play a little Name That Tune, which will be fun. So we'll see how good we are with that, and all different genres. So we'll see who's the most diverse person here. You can even have a little list and keep track to see a little competition. We're going to do the honor system. See who actually gets all the titles and the artists. So we'll see how we do with that. And then at the end, I'll poll, and hopefully again, the honor system, we'll see how many people get. I didn't make it so hard and remote like these one hit wonders. I try to make it a little easier. So hopefully most everybody will get some of these songs, but we'll see how diverse we are. So that'll be fun. In Toastmasters, we do have a lot of roles here. And we are missing our Wagmaster. So we'll have to come up with a word of the day here. And I believe I'm missing an evaluator 1. So I would need a volunteer possibly for which one? Dave Licata is going to be our evaluator 1, and you'll be evaluating Marshall Song, who actually is not here yet, is he? He is online. Okay, thank you. So yeah, you'll be evaluating him. Yes. We'll give you a little information in between breaks to help you out with that. Okay. It is on the agenda as well, which we have over here. It's okay. So Dave's going to get the agenda, and we're all organized. Any volunteers for a Wagmaster? Do you have anybody else that would do it? Carol is going to be the Wagmaster. She'll have to come up with a word. I'll give her a few minutes to do that, and then she can come up a little bit later and talk about her role. So we'll skip right over to the quote master. Joe Budnock is our quote master today. Hopefully Joe is prepared with a quote for today. Let's come on, give him a warm welcome.
A painter paints on canvas, but a musician paints their pictures on silence. Leopold how the heck do you say his name? Stokowski, that's it. Where words fail, music speaks, Hans Christian Andersen. And one good thing about music, when it hits you, you feel no pain, by Bob Marley. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Our next role holder would be Sylvia Baptiste. Sylvia, you have a joke for us today?
I do. I have three. How can you tell a singer's at your door? Can't find a key and doesn't know when to come in. What is the difference between a rock guitarist and a jazz guitarist?
Hmm.
Anyone? No? The rock guitarist plays 3 chords in front of thousands of people. The jazz guitarist plays 1,000 chords in front of 3 people. My last one is, what is the difference between a drummer and a savings bond?
Hmm. Good
One
question.
will mature and make money.
Very nice. Yeah, that was probably the best one. I appreciate that. It's definitely a lot of those folks out there not maturing and in their parents' garage probably with bands. Our timer today is Beth Banks. Can you tell us your role today, please?
My role as timer today will be to time everyone that will be speaking with table topics, the speeches, and the evaluations. Table topics is 1.5 to 2 minutes with a 15-second buffer. Speeches are usually 5 to 7. If they're not, please someone let me know. With the green light at 5, yellow at 6, and red at 7. And the evaluations 2 to 3 minutes with a 30-second buffer. So green at 2, yellow at 2.5, and red at 3. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Beth. Our quizmaster is Mike Florio. Can you tell us your role today? And tell us your favorite band and or genre.
Well, I love music. I've done speeches on music before, and my favorite genre is probably rock, but my tastes are pretty eclectic, I think, where I like just about everything. You know, country, even classical music, some of that as well. So I really like it a lot. And Toastmasters has helped me in a way with music in a sense, right? Because I can get up here and speak, right? I can also get up here and perform. And I've been taking guitar lessons now for a while. I don't really tell a lot of people that, it's kind of my little secret, right? And then I go out the first Thursday of every month and I play in front of actual people at a little dive bar in Lockport. But nobody's going to say, boo me off stage. At least they haven't yet. But it's a lot of fun. No, well, I'm not ready yet. Anyway, my job today is quizmaster, and as quizmaster, I will be testing your knowledge at the end of the meeting as to some questions that I come up with, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Mike. It looks like our Wagmaster is ready. Carol's at the ready here. So could you tell us your role, Carol, and possibly provide a word of the day for us?
Okay, the word of the day, thanks to Joe Budnick, who whispered the word to me. He thinks harmonious, and I agree. Harmonious is a wonderful word for today. I also will be listening to your grammar and examples of good and bad, and your ahs and ums, pregnant pauses. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Carol, for stepping up. Hopefully we'll hear many stories about harmonious bands and music experiences people have today. And that might be provided by our table topics master. Our table topics master is Tracy Farrell, and she is walking up here, and I'm sure she is armed with some questions for us today about music. And please talk about your favorite band or genre, please.
Thank you.
So I have to tell you about my favorite genre. Everybody knows it's country, and my favorite band's one of those little known bands, 104 Country, who our mayor used to be the drummer in. But I'm gonna ask some people here in the room about their what they think about music. And Jackie, I'm gonna pick on you first. Can you tell me, what was your favorite concert? Have you ever gone to a concert? It could be classical music, it could be any harmonious event. Tell us about that.
Thank you. Favorite concert? Not surprisingly, most of the music I listen to is kind of mild mannered. Over the years, I have seen Judy Collins perform many, many times in many different venues in different cities. And her music is still amazing and inspiring. My favorite genre, that's hard because I like rock. I grew up in the 60s. Of course I like rock, but I also love classical music. And I think Kleinhans Music Hall is a jewel of Western New York. They do so many amazing things. I've taken my kids to the concert series that they have for young children. They explain the instruments and the form of the music. It's quite educational, but they also make it a lot of fun. I don't think that there's a kind of music that I don't like unless it's something that is not harmonious, not pleasing to the ear. So all of you go out and enjoy your favorite kind of music today. It's a beautiful day to sit under a tree and listen to whatever your favorite happens to be. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. So our next contestant's gonna be Mary. Come on up, Mary. She was begging to come up here. Oh, I didn't even see him online. Well, Eric, stay tuned. So Mary, tell us, are you musically inclined? And if so, what sparked your interest in this? And if not, tell us why.
That's what harmonious means.
Oh, that's okay. Just make it up as you go. It counts.
Should I tell everybody what my first concert was too?
You can do whatever you want. Talk about music.
So, music is, I work out to all different kinds of music, like Queen and pop and all that stuff. My very first concert was actually Black Eyed Peas at Keybank Center. They were good and they were a harmonious group, and me and my mom loved them, and we're sad that they're no longer together as a band. But I listen, yeah, when I work out at home, I love to listen to Bruno Mars and everything else.
That's okay. Tell us what other concerts you've gone to.
I've gone to American Idol tour, Backstreet Boys, Fall Out Boys, but Fall Out Boys wasn't that good. If anybody knows what the music is. It was my least favorite concert out of all the concerts I've been to.
What type of music?
I like pop. I hate country. I want to let everybody know. Country's my least favorite. No, rap's my least favorite genre. I'm sorry. Do I have some more time to speak?
You have lots of time. Perfect. Oh, okay, good. You are good. Thank you so much. Rap and country. Oh my goodness. So Eric, you've been called out. Tell me about your favorite song and why does it resonate with you? Eric Schneider.
Good morning. Sorry, what was the question again? Sorry, I'm in the middle. Sorry. What was the question?
Tell me about your favorite song and why does it resonate with you? And don't forget to use the word harmonious.
Harmonious. Okay, thank you very much. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters guests. My favorite song. Oh, there's so many of them. All of them sound so harmonious. So I'm going to go with one of the Beatles songs. Which one is it? Man, put me on the spot this morning on favorite songs. There's, like I said, there's so many of them. The Beatles, Yellow Submarine. I have seen the movie of Yellow Submarine because it was very trippy. If anybody ever watched Yellow Submarine, but it was so trippy. But I like the music, how they resonates, and to seeing the music video, how they go from different parts of the see through the time and all that, and just like it takes you on a magical adventure. Plus, in the 60s, everybody was trippy enough, so. But I do like that song in general because my mom, my brother, my cousin, we're all big Beatles fans. And also the one last Beatles song I like is Now and Then, the most recent one they came out last year, because it was so very resonate, very so harmonious because it's the last Beatles song and they wanted to go out with a bang like that. And just it still resonates with me because it was a very, very good song. Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Eric. And so I'm going to call for a timers report. Beth, can you tell us if all of our contestants qualified?
I like coming after Tracy. It's nice. No moving things around. All of our table topics contestants qualified: Jackie at 134, Mary at 130, and Eric at 140. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Beth. And Carol, can you tell us if everybody used the word of the day? Carol.
I am happy to report that all table topics contestants used the word of the day.
Thank you. So we can vote for either Jackie Kenny, Mary, or Eric. Mr. Toastmaster.
We can vote online in form of the poll, which our crack staff, if I can call you staff, have have already unpaid staff have already put up there. And also, if you don't have a ballot, we have them over here. So and take a rip off. Are you ready for some Name That Tune? And I wouldn't even ask you to give me the notes. I'm just gonna say if you can get the song. Some of these in the beginning I think you're pretty good. So I'll start off with what I think is to be an actual. Are you ready? Looks like Mike wants to get involved with this. He's ready, listening. I'm pretty sure he'll get this one. So we'll start off. Hopefully you can hear this. I. So House of Rising Sun, correct. Who is the band? The Animals, correct. That's Davis, more specific than I had even wanted. So I appreciate that. So I started with the one that I thought would be pretty good. Easy, but we're gonna move around a little bit to different genres. So we'll see how diverse you are here. Thank you. Alicia Keys, what's the song? Said in the first word, actually, of the Fallen. Very close. Yes, yes, Fallen. The very first word she says it. So thought that'd be an easy one. Yeah, it's a good tune. She's an amazing singer. Let's go to a different one. Like I said, we're gonna mix around genres here. And you can play online as well, if you desire. Alrighty. Oh, not that one. Sorry. Well, we'll do that one. Tracy. That was a tough one. That was Done is the name of that song. But I actually that was an accident, so we won't count that one against you guys. This is the one that I wanted to pick, which I think is pretty straightforward for certain people. What's the name of the song, Joe? Very nice. Joe got it. The Beastie Boys, Fight for Your Right to Party. Child of the 80s. Awesome. And we'll go with one more here, and then we'll go to the next stage, which I think, like I said, I'm mixing these up, so that's not it. We don't want that one. I gotta scroll here. I think quite a few people will get this one. I got that tune in one note, I believe. Eleanor Rigby by the Beatles. Very nice. So we'll have a little more fun as we go through our meeting today with Name That Tune, and again, testing your knowledge. And I will mix up the genres, so there'll be some that'll no matter what you like, you'll be identifying. I'd like to introduce our first evaluator, who is on deck here, I believe. Are you on deck, Dave Licata? Dave Licata is not on deck. He was. Okay, it's okay. We'll give Dave a second to wander back to his abode here and then come up, and I'm sure he'll deliver us a harmonious evaluation later today. Dave, first evaluator.
Now that I've finally been recognized as the official Toastmaster General of Lockport by the mayor, I think it's only fitting that we go with my new position, a stretch across the Pacific to evaluate Marshall. And ironically, in the description of the parts that I'm looking for, harmonious is indeed included. In the situation, you've got to admit, I believe that the people on that side of the planet do strive for harmony. And sometimes I think they're more clever than we are when it comes to harmony. So I'm looking forward to this, Marshall, and Marshall, best of luck. Thank you very much. I don't have his title. Quantity determines quality. 5 to 7 minutes. Thank you very much.
Okay. Fellow members and distinguished guests, I shouldn't give this speech in this club. I join 8 Toastmaster meetings every week. This club is the only one have 3 prepared speeches for every meeting. So big applause to all of you. But 1 year before, my home club wasn't harmonious. We had a debate about prepared speech. In that time, we were a new club, and most of members only joined the Toastmaster for 2 or 3 months. We only had 1 speech in every month. I thought prepared speech is very helpful for all the members, so I wanted to make a reform. So our members divided to 2 groups, the quantity groups and the quality groups. For the quantity groups, they thought we should have 2 or 3 prepared speech in every regular meeting. And every member should deliver a speech for every 2 weeks. But the quality group said prepared speech was very serious thing. So we have to use at least 6 weeks to prepare one and make a lot of rehearsals. In the beginning, they are similar. I was the VPE. Before the meeting, they all told me, oh, I just wrote my script last night. I was so busy recently. Can I read my script? I can't recite it. Some say, oh, can I use Chinese to deliver my speech? Yeah, we are English club. Or can I deliver my speech next time? But a little different was the quality groups are easy willing to quit their speech by the reason like cold, cough. Because they thought we have prepared for 6 weeks. If I deliver not perfect one, others may laugh at me. 1 year, after 1 year, it's totally different. The quantity groups got dramatic progress. They got 2 champions in area speech contest and 1 champion in division speech contest. As a new club, that's fabulous. But the quality groups, even when they join the club speech contest, they stand there and didn't dare to look at audience. And some of them said, oh, I lose my voice. I can't give my speech. And I made an interview of those champions and quantity groups. How long time do you prepare a speech? They said 3 to 5 hours. That's so quick. And they invented a method called 9 fingers method. It's according to the Toastmaster pathways template. From that template, we divide a speech to 3 parts. The 4 finger for beginning, 3 finger for body, and 2 fingers for ending. For 4 fingers, 1 is greeting, and 2 is attract audience attention. 3 is give your opinion. 4 transition. For the 3 body parts, it's cover more than 60% of the speech. For every part, they have deduction and summary and transition. For the ending 1 is to summarize your today's speech, what you want to say, your opinion. And another one is MCDM. It's have a higher meaning of your speech. And from Toastmaster to our whole life, how to use the knowledge from this speech to our whole life. And I'm also belong to the group of quantity, and I benefit it a lot from it. So I still remember the first time when I stood on the stage. I didn't care about anything. I was blank mind. I didn't remember anything. So for a new member, every time, according to our pathway, we can only learn and practice 1 point, like vocal variety, body language, eye contact, attract audience. We couldn't put too many points in 1 speech. So we need a lot of practice. And most of people have procrastination. Even give someone 1 year to prepare a speech. They write their script from yesterday. I still have I have another crazy experiment. For last year, I made every one speech for 1 week. Now I want to make one speech for 2 weeks. But I have joined 7 clubs. I give the same speech to 7 clubs. I can get evaluations from 7 evaluators. So I can modify my speech. So for this crazy experiment, I set it for 6 months. So this October, I will give my report of the result. I hope all the club, all the members can deliver more prepared speech, because quantity not only over quality and sometimes determines quality. Thank you, all of you.
Our second evaluator is Jill Roaring. If she could come up here and talk about our second speaker's topic and what he's going to talk about.
All right. Excuse me. I will be evaluating Les Robinson. He is doing this speech, Connect with Storytelling. Obviously, the purpose of this project is for the member to practice using a story within a speech or giving a speech that is a story. So you will be looking for a wonderful little story here, Les. And hopefully that will give us something for me to evaluate after. Your title: Why Storytelling to Help Connect with Your Audience. Les Robinson.
Thank you, Jill. And why is telling a story a great way to connect with your audience? I have been doing seminars for a very, very long time. And to connect with your audience, you have to tell a great story. And you have to build the story through the whole event. You want to have a call to action. You want to have an introduction, a conflict, a purpose, and a reason for them to go forward. Now, the most important thing is when I do my storytelling within a presentation, I use it to build my point. Now, what happens is when you're doing tall tales, you make stuff up. And so what you want to do is very simple, is very easy, is do the same stuff over and over and over again. Because if you get tripped up, it's easier to remember the truth than it is to remember a lie. So what I do is I open up, I have the title, I talk about my book, and then I jump over to how I've been through 10 long-term care events with my grandmother, my father having a heart attack, to my wife not walking again. Then I bring up my book and I talk about what really finished my book. So I go through that story. As I'm doing that, you're building the continuity of the story with the seminar to get your point across. So you're using your stories with the information, because what you're developing is what I call a mind bridge. The people in the room usually have no idea of what they're there to learn, but if they can put small pieces together, they can connect the dots by using storytelling. And this helps you, very simple, to get your point across. The more effective the storytelling, the more effective you get the point across. I then work myself down into the presentation where I refer back to the care events, the book. I talk about another part of it where it ties everything up, and that shows a conflict of not having a plan. And then I tell a story within the presentation. Now, the story that I have in the presentation was told to me by my wife. And this is the funny thing of the whole thing, is this is where I say I can't prove this story. Because the important thing about this is that you have to sit there and go A, B, C, D. You're bringing something in you're not sure of, and you let them know, and then you continue on. And you're doing that, you're building your presentation, you come down to the end, and you're still using your storytelling. Now, last night I was doing a presentation, and I got tripped up because they went off on something, and I had to refer back to one of the stories. Now, because I've done the presentation over and over and over again, I was simply able to go from A to B to C to D. I was able to jump around versus going, what was I doing? And I know I'm going to get ahs for that, but you keep the continuity flowing. And that is the important. And then you come down, call to action. Many years ago, I was asked to speak at a group, and there were a bunch of speakers. And there was one person that came in and spoke for about 20 minutes. And every time he told the story, or he got referred back to the story, it was apples and oranges. And at the end, everyone just looked at him like, what are you talking about? Because his stories didn't connect. There he was making them up as they go. That's why you always use the same story. You do not lie. You basically go A, B, C, because if you get tripped up in your presentation using storytelling, you are going to fall apart. Now, when I use to make a point in my presentations, I do like a tall tales. I do an over exaggeration story once in a little while in there. And that is, I say, this is kind of on the fun side, and they laugh, and it's got really nothing to do with the topic, but they know it's a tall tale. If you're doing that within the presentation, kind of let them know that, and that it's not the gospel, because people will take it as the gospel, and then they will get confused. That's why it's very important that you have systematically, when you do your presentations, use the same story over and over. Last night, as I said, I got tripped up and I was able to come back. You do not want to be the person who is trying to persuade the group or whatever event you're in to get your point across, and you're using storytelling and you're making it up, and it causes you to crash. At the end of the day, storytelling in your presentation is, if you're using to get your point across, use the facts, know your stories. If you're doing tall tales, go for it, and you can change it as you go and have a great time. Thank you very much.
Our third evaluator today is Mark Campos. He is online. And if he would like to introduce Larry McKenzie's speech, that would be great. Go ahead, Mark.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters. Good morning. Before I introduce Larry, I would like to comment on the meeting theme. I am a big music fan. I used to play guitar, wasn't really a natural. I shared some pictures of what I looked like in the 80s with the long hair, so I guess the fact that I played guitar sort of figures, if you will. But I wasn't really good at it, but I do contemplate maybe picking it up again when I retire. I'll have a little bit more time on my hands. We'll see. I still happen to own one. My favorite band is Rush. So hard rock is generally in my wheelhouse, though over time I have embraced other types of music, even country. Now, sorry, Tracy, I know you love it. I used to make fun of it all the time, but now I've just sort of capitulated and I play country because it is the only genre I can put on in my house where I won't hear a comment from my wife or kids based on what I put on to listen to. It keeps things harmonious in the house, if you will.
Nice.
With that, back to business, serious business here. I would like to introduce Larry McKenzie. Larry is working from the Engaging Humor Pathway Level 3 Connect with Storytelling. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice using a story within a speech or giving a speech that is a story. For the timer, the time is 5 to 7 minutes, and his title is 16th Street. Please welcome Larry McKenzie with 16th Street.
Madam Timer, before you begin, the theme of the meeting today. Thank you, Mark, first of all. Music, I believe it had something to do with my life throughout my entire life. And I found out, like Mark, I played guitar and I played a couple of different instruments. And then I discovered this thing called DJing and emceeing, which I made as much money as the five of us used to make playing together. And I said, ding, I think I'll become a DJ. And hence, that's what happened. My favorite band, I have many, and I don't actually genre. There's quite a few, but my grandson, who's 13 years old, introduced me to an artist, and I encourage any of you to listen to this artist. Her name is Laufey, Laufey. She's from Iceland, and she sings a lot of the old songbook songs, but she's a fantastic jazz artist. 13. I never heard of the young lady until he told me. He went to Toronto and saw her. Phenomenal. Madam Timer, I am ready. Havelock, is that you? What? Yeah, it's me. Mike. Oh my gosh. In New York City at the Hard Rock Cafe, I haven't seen you in 10 years. Where have you been? The story began. Remember the old neighborhood? Remember the teens? The teens, yeah, those were great years. No, the teens. I lived on 17th. You lived on 16th. The whole group of us, we were the teens. And we hung out at the city market because we were the market boys on Pine Avenue of Niagara Falls. Now, Niagara Falls, like many cities, has different places. There's DeVoe, which is the nice end of town. Then there's the Market Boys, or the Pine Avenue group. Little Italy, it was also known as. That was where I grew up. I non capisco Italiano, but I was an Irish Scotch gentleman who lived in the neighborhoods, who I got lots of nice boy all the whole time, but we learned. And then there was Hyde Park. Once you got beyond Hyde Park, you got to a section called LaSalle, which was 56th Street. That was the boundary. If you went beyond that, you know. But what happened was, back in the old neighborhood, Mike and I got into this discussion at the Hard Rock. Remember the 4 seasons? Yeah, spring, summer, fall, winter. No. Baseball, golf, football, hockey. Yeah, I remember though. We engaged in all of those sports throughout our childhood, but we didn't play per se what you would say in an organized league at the very beginning. We had pickup games. We'd play in the parking lots. We used to play hot box. Remember hot box, Lauren? I wasn't very fast. No. And if you're not familiar with hot box, you have 2 people. You have a base over here, you have a base over here, and the object is to get to the base, and it's almost similar to when you're watching a baseball game and you get caught in a rundown. That was fun, somewhat. I always got caught. But then we developed a couple of new games. It was like, well, there's only 2 of us. How do we play baseball? We would stand in front of my house because we had 5 steps that went up to the porch. And we had a tennis ball. So one of us would stand back by the curb and the other one would have the base or the little tennis ball, and you throw it against the stairs. And what happens is the ball flies back towards. If you get it over the person's head, it was a home run. If you bobble it or go to the left or the right, it's a single, double, and we had our own game. We developed these games until my mom got mad when we broke the front window once or twice, or we put plexiglass in after that. It didn't help because Dad wouldn't let us play there anymore. So we decided, let's go around the back of the house. So we throw it against the back of the wall of the house, and then we catch. You'd throw it, and the other person would have to catch it. It was a way of developing games back then that we enjoyed. And Mike and I got into this conversation about the old days in the neighborhood, the baseball, golf. We'd go to Hyde Park every day. Were we good golfers? No, not so much. He was, because I asked him, what are you doing now? Well, I'm living in San Diego. Oh, what are you doing? Well, I work as an assistant pro at the one golf course down there. Want to go out golfing when I'm back in Niagara? Call me. We'll talk. He called me, believe it or not. We went over to Niagara Falls, Ontario, to the beautiful Parks course. First hole, we're out there, we're warming up. He gets up to the tee. He said, we flipped. He got first, right? So he tees off and he hits this ball, and it's a low liner, and it's going and going. If you've ever played over in Niagara Falls, the Niagara Parks, the first hole goes like out, and then it goes down like a little bit of a hill. Well, I'm watching and I'm thinking, where's this ball going? It's down, beyond, boom. He had a low liner, probably almost 300 yards. So I got up to the tee and I'm thinking, wow, he's improved. I got up. Did you ever take a swing at the golf ball and miss? I did it, and I said, I just thought you'd want to laugh from the old days because that's what happened back then. Needless to say, it was a long, long day, and he was very nice about it because we played best ball after that first hit of mine. So I used to hit from the same place he hit. We always played his ball because you know how the story goes. One of the reasons I enjoyed that conversation was it was 10 years out of nowhere. Him and I are sitting in the Hard Rock Cafe in New York City. He's at one end, I'm at the other. He recognizes me and he yells out. And we engaged in a conversation about growing up in the old neighborhood. It was a lot of great memories, which I still carry with me. And I think those days of getting out and playing in the street and making up games are things that are lost. Because if it's not on a video game, these were the only exercise that you would be getting right now would be with your thumbs. My thumbs don't work. I have arthritis in both of them, and it's not from playing video games. So I guess the best way of saying things is 16th Street and my growing up in my youth was something that I believe has helped me to become the person that I am. And I try to instill that in my grandkids. Get outside, enjoy the outside, unplug the video, turn off the power, do whatever you got to do for let the kids get out. And my grandsons, for the most part, all play baseball, play hockey. They're all sports enthusiasts. They fish, they hunt. The girls, same thing. They're out, they're doing outdoor things, engaging where they're interacting with people. That's a lost art, interacting. And today, we listened to Marshall give a speech this morning, and I enjoyed it thoroughly because he has worked so hard to become a speaker and to be able to communicate. And that's something that's lost. And I think we all should look for that. I want to say that this was a very harmonious moment, and I'm going to go over time if I don't shut up right now.
I'd also like to comment that Larry was our setup guy today too. So he's speaking and doing the setup and running the videos and everything so that he could help us communicate in the hybrid format. So we appreciate him. And Mark was doing our Zoom type things. Appreciate both you guys. I'd like to get a timers report, if I may, from our timer, Beth Banks. Round of applause, please.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Our contestants all qualified: Marshall at 7:25, Lester at 5:32, and Larry at 7:20. Thank you.
So please take an opportunity to vote on the ballots that you have. Also, since we have just one speaker in-house, if you want to write some words of encouragement or what you thought of Larry's speech to him, if you could tear off a tab there, says third speaker. Online, if you could communicate with each other and comment in writing words of encouragement for the speakers online, that would also be amazing. Let's do a little more name that tune. This one here, if you guys don't get this in 2 seconds, I'd be shocked. Cameraman, Billy Joe. I think they did it in 7 notes. So Piano Man, Billy Joel, didn't even need to say a word. They got it right from, that was in honor of Billy Joel's 100th concert in New York City, Madison Square Garden, 10 years of concerts, once a month. They even have a special, I think, on, he has a banner in the rafters. Exactly. It's amazing to me that he's done that many concerts in one venue. So that was honor him. Next selection for you guys. Let's see. We got What the Hell Is That from Dave Licata. Wedding, yes. But other rockers in the house definitely nailed that. And Jill has the album, so there you go. So that's awesome. You gotta like that. Okay, yes. Billy Idol wrote that song because he disapproved his younger sister getting married. It's the song called White Wedding. He did not approve. That is interesting. Wow, I did not know that. Let's scroll to another one here. See if I can get down here without activating the song. Let's see. Takes a second to scroll down. Like I said, I want to mix up my genres. This is all my playlist, by the way. I have a playlist literally it's ridiculously long, and I can go for 2 weeks. It seems like a 2-week trip and not play one song twice. So that's a little ridiculous, but it is what it is. I think Joe Budnick is kicking butt here. Name that tune. Summer of '69, Bryan Adams, My First Concert. Good job. We'll go down a little further. See if we can get this one here. Again, mixing up genres a little bit. We did a little hard rock in there. Let's try a little more mellow here. Very good. There's no words in these songs. You guys names these things so quickly. Cat Stevens' Wild World. Very nice. A little more mellow for folks out there. Don't worry, Tracy. I'm also a country fan, so you're not alone. Eventually, you will get some country songs here, but I'm kind of mixing it up. And we'll go for one more here. And let's see if we can get this. Just to mix it up even a little more. I'm gonna scroll ways for this one. The silence is golden. Incorrect. Incorrect, Dave. Just wait. Just wait. I said they have romantic songs out there. I had to play at least one. Carol got that one. At Last, and Larry got the artist, Edward James. Classic song. So this is fun. I'm enjoying this. Hopefully you guys are as well. At this point in the meeting, we'd like to get our evaluations. But before we do the evaluations, your Toastmaster has performed the cardinal sin, I'm sad to say. I did not introduce my general evaluators. So if Mike Licata would like to tell everyone his role before he does his evaluations of the evaluators. That would be amazing. Go ahead, Mike.
Good morning, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and our newest member. My job this morning as the general evaluator is to evaluate the evaluators, the Toastmaster of the day, and also the general tone of the meeting. With that, I will hand the meeting back over to our Toastmaster, Dr. Stevens.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate you stepping up for the role as well. Dave Licata, are you ready to perform your first evaluation? Please give him a round of applause, please.
I'd like to start by thanking Larry McKenzie for doing the evaluation. Before you start timing, I do have a soft spot for the song Maggie May. It reminds me of my semester in London. I came home from London and I found out that my buddy Louis was dating an older woman named Maggie May. She was from England and I was crushed. How'd I miss that boat? But anyways, Marshall gave us a great lesson this morning. And the lesson is open up with a compliment. That reeled us right in. So he belongs to 7 clubs, and he reminded us that we are the club that has 3 speakers. And we become so adept that we can do this painlessly. We've had 3 speakers and still got done inside the hour, but we do an hour and a half. So that was a great lesson that he gave us this morning. Now, this gentleman, our friend Marshall, he joined because his teacher recommended it because he thought it'd be a great way for him to improve his English. And he's got a tremendous handicap. He's over there in 12 time zones away in China. He probably doesn't come across that many people that speak colloquial, I got it out, thank you, English. So hats off to him. That's really great. Now, the other part of the speech that was tremendous, he gave us a great review of why we're here. He gave us a great reminder. It never hurts to get a review. It never hurts to go back to the coop and look at the chickens and find out how they're doing and what we're trying to hatch. He did an excellent job. So it's kind of tough for me to pick on him. But it's the same old story. And we're all guilty of it. And we all need to be reminded just to slow down a little bit. Because if you slow it down, that will give you more opportunity for vocal variety and give you more opportunity for your gestures. And we could all do a little bit more practice. And I'm guilty of that when I give a speech. He had an outstanding background this morning, a very contemporary, very with it. But he's a young man. He's from this part of the world that's given us a new technological breakthrough every 10 minutes. So he demonstrated that for us. He also showed us that there's nothing better than standing up when you give your speech, because that allowed him to give more broader gestures. Now, he belongs to 7 clubs. That is certainly going to help his English. But I want him to go out in his surroundings where he lives and find a Buffalo Backers Club for the Buffalo Bills. Good luck on that one, buddy. And I'm sure that'll help you with your colloquial English, well, at least your Western New York English. Great job, Marshall.
Thank you, Dave. Yep. Definitely want to indicate how cool it is to have international members in Toastmasters International. Love that. Our second evaluator is Jill Roaring, and she is ready to go.
And before you start timing me, I would have to say, as far as music genre, I'm a rock and roll girl. But I like progressive rock. I have to go along with you, Mark Campos. Rush is where it's at. They tell stories in their music. Sometimes you have to figure out what's going on in the story. But I think the one that I like the best is their song called The Trees, which is, if you listen to it, you find out that it's a story of unionism and socialism and what happens. It's very interesting if you really start picking it out. And that is what this music is about. So, but I also like a good headbanger song. Thunderstruck with the radio turned up loud in the car. I don't do that when Steve is around. Okay, to my evaluation. Les, you gave us an interesting speech today about how to do a speech with storytelling. You had a lot of effective pauses. You had a great change of pace within your speech. You did a good job about telling us how to do a speech. But that's where I got to step back and say, wait a minute here. What is the story that was supposed to be told here? The directions for all these projects tell you not to repeat the project in your speech, but to actually do a speech with a story. And I have to honestly say, you didn't do that. That's what you did. You repeated the project, telling us about how important it is a story is, how to incorporate the story into your speech, and all that sort of thing. Instead of telling us an actual wonderful story, which unfortunately, you had the follow-up of Larry right after you telling a story about 16th Street in Niagara Falls, which has changed considerably since he lived there. And another thing is your title was so clumsy. Your title should be something to draw people in and make them want to listen to your speech. Your title didn't. So back to, you're an accomplished speaker though. You're a DTM. You do a lot of speeches out in public, telling people how to do things and what's important in your life as far as speeches, as far as finances, that sort of thing. You're a DTM. How about telling us an actual story? I'm sure you can tell a good one. So thank you.
Thank you, Jill, our second evaluator. Our third evaluator is online, Mark Campos. Warm welcome for Mark, please, from the house.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters. Good morning once again. It was my privilege this morning to evaluate Larry McKenzie with 16th Street. Larry, I really enjoyed your speech. It was a very fun ride down memory lane. And growing up in a neighborhood that is very similar to what you experienced in the city of Niagara Falls, I could relate to all of it. Trying to improvise playing sports that aren't intended for two boys to play sports, but somehow you figure out a way, we adapt and we overcome. Being an accomplished speaker, Larry's strengths were evident and on display this morning. I love the introduction with the meeting and the conversation back and forth, it drew us in. I liked the little impression, very nice boy, that I thought was well done. Your gestures were top notch today. Your eye contact in the room, more on that, but in the room were terrific. Great vocal variety, and above all else, no notes, just delivered very smoothly. Terrific job with that. Building upon these numerous strengths, I think your speech could have been even more effective in just a few ways. Number one, don't forget about your Zoom audience. We're right here, so maybe peer at us once in a while just to engage with us. I think would punch it up just a little bit more. Perhaps a picture of the old gang could have been enjoyable if you had one. I think that could have been sort of fun. And the last point I'll leave you with is I thought the theme of your conclusion was a very powerful one that ran out of steam. You went on just a little bit too long and you lost your oomph on it. Plus you went off on a little bit of a tangent talking about Marshall and all that. And it just took away from what should have been a really powerful conclusion, because I do agree with you with that message. But above all, I thought it was a really fun speech. I even enjoyed the part where you gave the breakdown of the various portions of Niagara Falls. And what I was waiting for there is a couple of my neighbors are from Niagara Falls, and they refer to LaSalle as LaSalle. I don't get it. I was curious if you were going to say it that way. I appreciate the fact that you said it what I think should be the correct way, but be that as it may, in closing, Larry, I just also want to express what a joy it is to have you back in the fold. It's as if you never left. We are a much stronger club with you part of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Madam Timer, are you ready to tell us how our evaluators did in regards to time? At Toastmasters, we want to make sure we don't go over time because we can blather on forever.
We can do that. You are correct. All of our evaluators made it within time. Dave Licata at 3:09, Jill at 2:20, and Mark Campos at 2:56. So we are good. Thank you.
Let's take an opportunity to vote online and in-house. Few more songs and then we'll introduce the general evaluator. I know we're getting close to time here. This one again is very recognizable, so I suspect a good result from the audience. Bye. Very nice. Jukebox Hero by Foreigner. Lou Graham is from Rochester, right? The lead singer. Sadly, I don't think any of the members are still with the band, but they still go around. They have a final tour coming around with no members of the original band. So I find that amusing. Next selection. Uh-oh, we got a stumper. A recognizable voice. Goo Goo Dolls, very nice. Better Days. Yes, it does remind me of the Saber seasons. They did do that. They were the President's Cup and they had this as their theme song. It totally reminds me of that. Thank you, Dave, for that. Yes, and it's been almost 20 years since the Sabres were in the playoffs. But that's an aside. This next selection reminds me of my birthday party. Hopefully I can get it. Yeah, it's not that one. It's not that one. I got to scroll down a little bit for this one. So stay tuned. Because my birthday party is around Halloween. And some folks dressed up as these folks. And they came into my birthday party. And it was chaos. I'm just going to say that. Wrong number? Yep, yeah. What's it called? Yes, yes.
Gerald, we can't hear it from our end.
Yeah, not one song has come through on the audio online, unfortunately.
Oh, I'm sorry that I don't know what happened there, but sorry about that. I guess it wasn't really didn't work out the way I wanted to. Very good. Mike got it. Want to rock and roll all night. Wow. Okay. Good stuff. All righty. So let's go ahead and I was going to do a couple more, but you guys couldn't hear any of these songs online at all? Oh, wow.
Not at all, unfortunately.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I was right next to the mic. It's weird that you couldn't hear me. You can hear me, but you can't hear the songs. Well, we'll have to work on improvement for that in the future. Well, it was a good time. Let's go ahead and introduce our general evaluator again. He can evaluate the meeting, and maybe that'll be part of his feedback. Mike Licata, tell us what you thought of the meeting and our evaluators.
Thank you once again, Mr. Toastmaster. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. Dr. Stevens, I really want to commend you on this topic this morning. Everyone can relate to music. Everyone's listened to music at some point, and everyone has an opinion. So good job with making something that everyone understands and everyone could participate this morning. Me personally, the more I think about it when it comes to music is I actually surprisingly enjoy a good rap battle because the more I think about it, the more creative ways that certain rappers can insult each other on different levels is truly impressive when it comes to music and being able to make money off insulting your enemies. It's truly envious, my personal opinion. So you can always enjoy a good rap battle. Yes, again, we couldn't hear the filler with the name that tune. It was a good idea in theory, but I think you have to put the microphone of your phone right on top of the microphone at the lectern because that's the only way we can hear it, or it's the only way the mic can pick it up for the Zoom audience. All three of our speakers this morning are experienced, all three of our evaluators this morning all experienced. Mark has won many competitions in it. Jill didn't really hold back this morning at all. She was not harmonious in her evaluation of Les this morning. And then Dave's been around forever and he can adjust well to Marshall's speech. And you also did a good job of filling in the roles this morning with Carol Ann agreeing to be the Wagmaster and Dave deciding to be an evaluator late. So I have to commend you on the meeting this morning. You're running it well. We are perfectly on time. And I will turn the meeting back over to you, Dr. Stevens, for the reports.
All right. Thank you so much. Our first report would be Carol, who has stepped up as our Wagmaster. Thank you for coming up with a word as a team and performing this role today. Please, round of applause. Welcome her up.
Our word harmonious did well with, of course, all of the table topics participants using it. Gerald, Dave Licata, Tracy, I think Marshall, of course, and Mark and Larry, and I'm sure some others did too. Very few ahs and ums. I didn't really make note of any. Everyone spoke quite smoothly today. there's one. And let's see. Mary, I caught a so, and I did catch a couple other so's. And Mary, you did mention me and mom rather than mom and I. And Les used the word continuity. And Mark, ride down memory lane. And Dave Licata used colloquial. And I always like hearing stories of Larry McKenzie, since I grew up in the Falls in the Hyde Park area. And I took music lessons, guitar lessons on Pine Avenue in the Falls at a music store. Yep, probably. And we always walked, the friends and I walked through the market, the city market, to go to the high school. And as I say, I did take guitar lessons. The only problem is I need music in front of me. I can't just pick it up. I have to have the music in front of me. And we also inherited a piano from my husband's great aunt, and I do fool around with piano too. I do like 50s, 60s, 70s, and some of the new stuff too. And I used to hear a lot of 40s when my mom was sang all the time. When she worked around the house, she was always singing, and a lot of them were the 40s. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Carol, once again for stepping up. Our next report will be from the Quizmaster, Mike Florio. See if we're paying attention today.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters. Now, this morning we were graced with the presence of the mayor of Lockport. And I know that the mayor of Lockport's a rocker, okay? What instrument does he play? John is quite the drummer, accomplished drummer, and he plays out often. Now, there's 4 people here that also play the guitar. Can it? Me, that's correct. Mark Campos, Larry, and we just found out Carol Ann. So that's awesome. Maybe we'll have a little jam session, but could get scary. But yeah, be fun. Let's see. What is Jackie's favorite venue for music?
Kleinhans.
Kleinhans Music Hall. Thanks, Mark. Let's see. Mary, what's Mary's favorite band? It's like a food. It's a food. Black Eyed Peas. Good. Where does Eric like to live? No. He wants to live
Yellow
in the
Submarine.
Yellow Submarine. That's his favorite tune. Wow, that's a little wild one. I remember that was the first movie I ever went to. I'm not kidding. My aunt brought me to the Yellow Submarine at the Palace, and I was probably 10 years old, maybe it's 10. So, but that was pretty cool. It was a pretty wild experience. Let's see. How many speeches does Marshall have in the course of 1 year? I think they said they do 1 speech a year in his club in China. Was it 1 a week? Was it 1 a week or 1 a month? Sorry about that. Yeah. So with Les, when it comes to storytelling, what is what is his dragnet kind of thing that he has to? Just the facts, man. Just the facts. That's what Les is all about. What street did Larry do a speech on? What 6th Street, 16th Street, correct? And what were the 4 seasons that he was referring to? Go. There you go. Mr. Toastmaster. That's some of my favorite seasons.
Very nice. Thank you, Mike. I think that's all the reports we have. Normally I invite the officer of the day up, but I am the officer of the day. Okay, we'll do the awards first, if that's okay. Our best table topics today is Jackie Kenny. Come on up and get your ribbon if you desire. I don't know if we have the split club organized or not yet. We do? Okay. Could we have that, please? Because we're going to keep Jackie up here for a second after we give her her ribbon. Thank you so much. Because our next two winners are online. Our best evaluator is Mark Campos. Round of applause. Excellent, excellent evaluation. And our best speaker, drum roll please. Marshall Song. Great job, Marshall. That was awesome. And Jackie's going to draw the split club winner.
Yeah.
The winner is the last four numbers. I'll go with that. 2598. 2598. It might be that one there on the table. I'm not sure. That could be mine. That could be 2 weeks in a row. It is me? It isn't Beth or Margot. 2598. Could also be Jackie. We'll find out. Jackie drew her own number. She had no clue. I promise it wasn't a fix. She does, but who? I know the meeting should be done. It's 8:30. Dave does have an announcement, I guess. So if you could come up, Dave, and provide your announcement, so we can just finish up the meeting. 8:28. Pretty close.
I took a moment yesterday and I asked Margot to write the article about the mayor. So I'm guessing that if you took any photos, send those to Margot as well. And she has a connection with the Union Sun and it should be simple. So
The article's already written.
So if we send you the pictures, Margot, is that the deal?
Yep, but
All
I
right.
need to get it in by tomorrow. Otherwise, it's history, not news.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for that, Dave, to speed the wheel of communication. I'd like to call this meeting to an end. I don't know who the next Toastmaster is, who the speaker, so check online.
Gerald, it's Eric. Our DECA Toastmasters are coming next week.
Thank you, Eric. The DECA Toastmasters are coming next week, so they'll have their own agenda. And there's something else, Larry, you had to say? No, okay. That's what it was. Thank you. So come support our young leaders and future speakers. Meeting adjourned.